All right, welcome, fight fans. Back at it again with another video. Now, I gotta admit, I saw Sean Porter podcast today, and the Porter's way, and he was giving reasons of why um, his father stopped the fight. Right? Me, it wasn't a good enough reason to me, and I'm still going with that. It wasn't a good enough reason to stop the fight because, as we all saw, he wasn't hurt. Now, what truly happened in that fight? Um, in my opinion, again, I like to I like to say my opinion because that's exactly what it is and how I analyze the fight. Sean Porter was winning the fight, in my opinion. He was up. Now the knockdown by Crawford kind of turned the tide. Okay, so it was like deja vu all over again from the Errol Spence fight. Because that was the separation between him and the Errol Spence fight was the knockdown. Because it was that nip and tuck back and forth seesaw action, right? But in this particular fight, he was up. He was up. He got clipped, and it was kind of a glancing blow at the back of the head, and it probably buzzed him a little bit, but he did get caught lunging. You know, I watched the fight over too. He got caught lunging. He caught rushing in. Now, it could be his stamina plays an important part because he always getting clipped late in these fights. But Sean Porter didn't do what Sean Porter said he was going to do either. He said, in his own words, on his own podcast, he said he was going to make it uncomfortable. He didn't do that. He tried to box Bud. And he tried to turn it on too late. He tried to make him uncomfortable at spots. But it wasn't the normal Sean Porter. Now, boxing is tricky. Now, it goes back, like, all right, for instance, like the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight. It, all Tyson Fury had to do was the same thing he did before, and that's what he was doing. Using his weight, leaning on him, fatiguing him and fatiguing him and fatiguing him, because he know Deontay has no defense, and you catch him fatigued, then you go revert back to your boxing skills. 1, 2, 3, boom, get him up out of there. Because Deontay don't know what to do when he's hurt or fatigued or tired. His defense is shot anyway. So, in my opinion, if Porter would have smashed the gas in the beginning rounds, got Terrence a little fatigued himself, and got inside because he was the stutter steps was getting in there a little bit, but he wasn't able to close the different distance properly. In my opinion, he wasn't able to close it properly. You know, the body attack really wasn't there. You know, it's just like he was. It's like he was trying to outbox Crawford, and that was not what you're gonna do. You know, and he said he was gonna make it uncomfortable for him. He was gonna make it to where he wouldn't have time to think. And the third round, really, I mean, you could see they was waiting. They was waiting on each other. You giving them all the time in the world to think. You cannot fight Crawford at that pace. You know what I'm saying? So Sean goes back to the podcast and say he didn't. Kenny was thinking he didn't do what he wanted to do in training. Sean was going to do something different. He wanted to do things his way, and after the second knockdown, that's when the realization for Sean Porter knew the fight was pretty much over. Not over saying that Kenny did the right thing by stepping in. It just was over because Sean in his head knew he needed a knockout to win. That's why he was banging on the table. I mean, on the canvas, like he was banging on the canvas, because he was frustrated with himself. Whether he admits it or not, but we know what it was at that point. 2 rounds to go, and you was winning. It was a close fight, but you was up because it was close. So them 2 knockdowns put you behind the 8 ball, and ultimately cost you the fight. Plus with your daddy's help. Now me, I'm a former fighter and a firm believer. Think about it. That's how Mark Breland got fired. throwing in the damn towel. These fighters train too fucking hard for that, yo. I understand your son. Everybody, it's mixed emotions about the whole situation. I'm talking to some of my friends, and they saying that he should have stopped it. He should have stopped it. But my thing is this: stop it when he's hurt. Stop it when he's not coherent. If the knockdown would have happened like in the fifth or sixth round, and he got up wobbly or something, stop it then when the fighter's actually in trouble. Sean was not in trouble. He was just frustrated because he knew at that point he needed a knockout to win. And he knew he wasn't going to get it in 2 rounds because all Terrence had to do was just stay away and coast. You know what I'm saying? So my thing with this is, I mean, if this was going to be his last fight, win, lose, or draw, let the man go out like that. But me being around the game for so long and knowing boxing for so long, Sean going to come back. And the way, and I think, and I kind of think if I'm almost for certain, not, almost for sure, that's why Kenny threw in the towel. He didn't want Sean to go to sleep. So Sean was stating that win, lose, or draw, this was his last fight. So if you say that going into a fight, thinking like that, or whatever the case may be, you kind of want to leave while you still got some markability left. So if Crawford would have actually slept him, he probably couldn't retire, lay off, and jump right back into them positions because of how he looked in his last fight. So maybe the valiant effort he put forth and had Terrence down on the cards until the knockdowns kind of saved face. But me still, go out on your shield, man. If you're going to go out, go out. This is what we train for. And he said something of the nature about he didn't like the way that Sean was in the gym training or whatever, and Sean wanted to do what he wanted to do instead of doing what Kenny told him to do. That's why he stopped. So in my opinion of that is that's not a way to give your son a knockout loss like that. So it looks good for Terrence, but it looks worse for Sean, and it looks bad for Kenny. You know what I'm saying? You put the stop on Sean Porter's resume. You put the stop on Sean Porter's resume, not Crawford. You. So that's a pill they both have to swallow together. Now, we all know, Spence say fire his ass, but we all know Sean loves his daddy very much, and Sean ain't going to fire him. Him and his daddy what got him this far, so that's not going to happen. But I believe, in my opinion, Sean, you do need to step out on your own, be your own man. And, as far as that decision-making is concerned, you need to have a long talk with your pops and see what the fuck's going on with that situation. He ain't never stopped none of your other fights. He ain't stopped the Adrian Broner fight. You was winning that one, too. You ain't stopped the Errol Spence fight. You got dropped in that one, but you gonna stop this one? It just has me wondering, man. But like I said, those reasons I gave you guys is some of the reasons. That's the only thing I can fish out. I'm going to just keep it 100. We going to keep it raw and real. I'm going to keep it raw and real. That's the only thing I can fish out with the shit. Is he was trying to save face in case Sean want to come out of retirement, still have his marketing power, because he did fight a great fight. So that's my opinion on the subject matter. Now, getting to the Errol Spence Crawford fight. Now, this fight is kind of crazy to me, man. It's really crazy because we all know what Errol want. Errol been saying this from day one, since before he won his first title. He's been saying, I want to become undisputed and then move up to 154. That was his plan from day one. Day one. Now, Crawford, on the other hand, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the fuck he want to do. Let's keep it real. Errol got tunnel vision of where he want his career and everything to go. Crawford, he act like he just fighting for a temp service or some shit. Yeah, he the champion and everything, but let's keep it real. He's chased Manny Pacquiao for over 5 to 7 years or some shit like that. Even when Manny didn't have a belt. You don't want to fight the hottest guys in the division. You fought a couple lukewarm fighters, got your knockouts in welterweight. You fought some lukewarm fighters, and got your name out there and make you a semi kind of threat. But you had to figure a lot of them fighters out. Okay, I'm just gonna make a comparison right quick so you guys can see where I'm coming from. So when they ask you about the Errol Spence fight, you like, that's past me. I don't need Errol Spence and this and that and that and this. Okay, if you in a division and you got a belt, I'm gonna just throw it out there, just curiosity. And this is the fight all the fans want to see. But you just want to be a champion at welterweight. You don't want to be undisputed either. But you have to get to this man to get that. Or get through this man to get that. Then you complain about Bob Arum and all this. And then you re-signed with him. And you was unhappy. So why you re-signed? But you want the biggest fights. But knowing the fact that he kept you from the Pacquiao fight. So at this point with Crawford, I don't really know what he's doing.